All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're looking live here at the beautiful sight and scenes from Benzie as the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators will be taking on the Benzie Central Huskies in tonight's Week 3 matchup on Next Level Broadcasting. I'm Charles Strail. Alongside me, Scott Carter. Scott, great to have you with us one more time again for what should be a great matchup here on a beautiful Friday night.
I tell you what, I brought my cold gear.
Uh-huh.
I thought for sure it was going to cool off, and this is the epitome of Friday night football. It's beautiful outside. The band's playing. The crowds are here. It's truly like a summer evening. And so totally fired up for this matchup and game number 3 between the Gladiators and the Huskies.
And I think a lot of people want to know, Scott, how did you grow so much?
Yeah, right? I strategically set up this shot. I saw the shot last week, and I thought, man, he makes me look short. So, yeah, this is strategic.
Well, we got a lot of fun here planned for you on the Scott Carter Farm Bureau pregame show. We're going to go ahead and send it over to our friend Scott for his keys to the game. That way you can get prepared and all settled in as we've got the Gladiators and Huskies on tap here for Week 3, coming to you live here on Next Level Broadcasting. Take a look.
Coach Carter's Keys to Success, brought to you by Carter & Associates Agency, Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan.
And here we go, Week 3 of high school football. What an exciting thing. We have the 2-0 St. Francis Gladiators taking on the 0-2 Benzie Central Huskies. I think the number one mistake anyone could make in this case would be to think that their records would indicate the outcome of this game. It's high school football, and anything could happen. Benzie Central, in Game 1, lost simply by dropping a pass in the end zone that would have put them up to possibly win the game. In Game 2, they had 4 fumbles, and as we discussed, mental errors and turnovers can definitely say, here you go, and give the momentum over to the other team. They're a team that does lots of blitzes and stunts. That'll be key for our offensive line. And they have a new coach with a new offensive scheme, so they'll get yet better every game, and an athletic QB, and coach is willing to let him pass. 26 passes last game. So, with that in mind, here are the keys to success. Number 1, reading blocks. It's crucial as an insurance agent that I analyze your whole situation to help you figure out which coverages you need best. Likewise, what happens on that offensive line indicates to the defense what's about to happen in the play. If the linemen get through too easily, it's probably a screen or pulling to the other way. So reading what the blocking scheme will be crucial to success. Number 2, mental mistakes. Letting off the gas a little bit because we're taking on a team that's 0-2 would be a huge mistake in this case. Really what will be key is for St. Francis to minimize mental mistakes, utilize this as an opportunity to become an even better team. Backfield play. Again, similar to reading the coverages for what happens from the offensive line. With a team that threw 26 times last week, it's going to be crucial for our defensive backfield, including linebackers. If that offensive guard drops back to pass block, those linebackers have to get back into position. Same thing with all of our other backfield. They have to be ready to cover the pass. With these things in mind, they can have them properly covered. So here we go, Week 3. Have a great time, stay safe, and go get them, boys. This has been Coach Carter's Keys for Success.
And welcome back in, live looking at the Benzie Marching Band as we're getting ready to get things underway here from Benzie Central, live from Benzonia. Charles Strail, Scott Carter. You just saw the Scott Carter Keys to Success. Scott, anything that you want to expand on that you already put out there?
Well, I think, as I talked about in that pregame segment there, the key to tonight will be for St. Francis, for both teams for that matter, to continue to grow upon their successes because success breeds more success. And I think that it's just crucial. I can remember back in a day, I played on a particular Traverse City team, and I'll talk about that way too much throughout the season. But we were from the very first game, the Free Press had predicted that we would win it all. And so I think that got to us. Even though Coach did a good job to get that out of our head, we got to we got to a game against Alpena,
Yeah.
and I was pretty confident that it seemed like we were going to lose it in the first half because we showed up, and it was just not going well. So, Coach said, if you guys want to fulfill that mission of winning it all, you actually have to play every game.
Yeah.
And so I think it's crucial for St. Francis to come into this game. I mean, they could easily get lulled by the 0-2 versus 2-0 game.
And here's their upcoming schedule for St. Francis. After tonight, they'll be taking on Grayling, Kingsley, Boyne City, Notre Dame Prep, and Lumen Christi, Jackson Lumen Christi. So this is a game that the Gladiators really got to have in order to keep their playoff points and just stay in contention right now, coming in the coaches poll right now. Traverse City St. Francis ranked number 2 in Division 6, just below Jackson Lumen Christi. Got a lot of meat left on the bone on this schedule, so we'll see if the Gladiators, they've got high aspirations for this season, and right now they need to come out here, take care of business, but most importantly, continue to get better.
Yeah, I think that's the key. They've done well. They've come away with some wins, but there were a lot of things we saw that they can work on and get even crisper, if you will.
Yep. And that's definitely something that I think the coaching staff would say, and they've articulated it to me, that they want to continue getting better as the season moves forward. They don't want to hit the plateau even once they get into the playoffs. You want to continually getting better as the season progresses. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break, a timeout, before we get ready to kick things off here from Benzonia. Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators and the Benzie Central Huskies coming to you live on nextlevelbroadcasting.net and on YouTube at Next Level Broadcasting, streaming simultaneously. Welcome to Friday Night Football in Northern Michigan. We'll be back after this.
When I applied for this job, I told them I was going to do it for 5 years, then get back to singing. 25 years later, I'm still here. Farm Bureau not only allows me to be part of this community, they encourage it. From teaching the choir, working the musicals, and now getting a chance to be part of
Welcome to Culver Meadows, Traverse City's premier, family-owned, senior living community specializing in dementia care. Here at Culver Meadows, we cultivate the perfect environment for your loved ones by combining our setting, scenery, and social interaction of our residents. We pride ourselves at being an extension of your own family here at Culver Meadows. Call 231-633-9430.
Coach Gardner's Keys to Success.
Render the appropriate salute, and everyone able, please stand at attention, placing your hand over your heart as the Benzie Central Band proudly plays our national anthem.
Here we are, officially live and ready for football. It'll be the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators and the Benzie Central Huskies. We want to thank you for making us a part of your Friday evening here, a beautiful Friday evening. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't stop from continuing to mention it, that one of the better nights of this short season we've had so far. And September 12th, can't ask for a better night here early in September. Maybe we'll break out some Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Definitely.
I know you've been warming up, so it should be a fun one. And maybe we can put that in an outro. But as these two teams get ready to square off on the gridiron, Scott, we were there last week as the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators went to Ogama Heights in West Branch and beat a very, very solid opponent in the Division 5, Ogama Heights Falcons. What do you think the Gladiators need to come out with in order to establish that same type of efficiency here in this first quarter?
Well, we talked about this last week. A lot of these players are members of the St. Francis State Championship baseball team. So
right.
they know what it is to come out and what it is to come out and win and need to win. And so I think that's crucial that they come out and they establish dominance where they can. It's going to be important. Last week, I think I talked about this in my pregame segment, but last week, this team passed 26 times. Rowan Zickert passed 26 times. And so I expect to see a lot of that here. I mean, I would also think that it would be in their best interest to run the game, run the ball a lot so as to keep St. Francis off the field. But for St. Francis, the key will be to just line play. Dominance in the trenches.
And here we are. Kicking it away is Lane Sanchez for the Huskies, fielded at the 40-yard line by the Gladiators and making it out to the 45 for a 5-yard return. That's where the Gladiators will set up shop there. Nice job by Jacob Kraska.
Yeah, sophomore, tight end, defensive end. Definitely ready for that one. Again, you almost bring your hands players for that kind of scenario, just in case. And so good to see him grab that so comfortably and set it up for a dominating first drive.
See what the Gladiators opt to do here on first down. Ball at the 44-yard line. They come out, first play from scrimmage in a full house backfield set. Two tight ends, Tyler Enders under center. John David Carlson and Enders making up the center quarterback formation. There's a hard count, and that'll be a free 5 yards. Guilty party there is Jesse Mummy for the Huskies.
We will replay first down. It'll be 1st and 5 from the Gladiator 49.
So if we get that free play, we'll take as many of those as we can get.
1st and 5 now. Same formation for the Gladiators. They're going to turn and hand this one off to Bellinger. Bellinger gets a nice block, puts his shoulder down, picks up the first down into Husky territory with a gain of 8 yards on that first down handoff.
Yeah, he was probably 3 yards down before anyone got a hold of him. So that's what we want to see. I mean, obviously, we love the idea of yards after contact. However, that is pretty fantastic at that point.
1st and 10 now from the Husky 43-yard line. Same formation as the Gladiators now with their second play from scrimmage. Here's a handoff. Working around the left side is Braxton Lisinski. And Lisinski has a marginal 3-yard pickup on first down after he's eventually met by the Huskies. Big number 79, Andrew Carpenter, the senior, was able to get in there and make that stop. And, man, I wouldn't want to go against this Benzie defensive line. They've got some good-looking athletes on their front line of the defense.
Yeah, I think one of the keys, obviously, is to make sure you have leverage. So this is a really strong St. Francis team. They'll just need to stay low on big guys like 79, Mr. Carpenter.
We've got a penalty marker thrown here by the near side line judge.
Looks like we're going the same direction. 76. Jason just was ready to try and get across the line quickly, and just a smidge too quickly.
As you're looking out here on the beautiful evening sunset to the west, I'd say a good hour and 10 minutes until we hit sunset here. Full house formation. Here's a handoff to Daziak. Daziak gets a nice block from Lisinski. Daziak working down the sideline and pushed out of bounds at the 10
If you show that replay, you're going to see Bellinger come down and just lock that baby in, if that's an option at this point.
Yep, here's the replay right here.
Watch 30, Bellinger. He comes and he's leading the way, and boom, he just opens that up. Nice lane for what's it, number 5? It was Daziak, right?
Yep, Daziak there on a nice carry. Pushed out, I said initially the 10, but I guess his toe was on the line a little bit closer. Sellers in motion. Endress is going to keep it. Endress puts his shoulder down and is leveled, but inside the 10. It'll be first and goal for the Gladiators. Rowan Zickert on the stop for the Huskies.
Rowan is their stud for sure. He is quarterback and defensive back, and that's always a dangerous combination. But he made a nice little lick on Endress right there.
Gladiators now first and goal from the Huskies 7. Hand off to Evan Bellinger. He's pirouetting and corkscrewing his way down, moving the pile. Is he in?
That?
He is in. Evan Bellinger in for 6, an 8-yard touchdown run. Let's go ahead and take another look at that one, Scott.
Here's what I love. You got an offensive lineman, probably coming from the right side, 77, right? So
just look at the push by Bellinger.
The offensive lineman came in, so that would have been Garrett Russell, came in and actually carried him, helped pull him into that end zone. I love that. Everybody's playing until they hear the whistle. And we go, oh, unfortunately, we have a player down.
We do have an injured player down here for the Trojans, or excuse me, the Huskies. St. Francis Gladiators do put 6 points on the board. We're going to go ahead and step aside as they attend to the injured Husky. You're watching high school football presenting Gladiator football on Next Level Broadcasting. We'll be back after this.
Hi, it's Kevin Klein from TVC Airport. We're proud to help keep you connected to high school sports in Northern Michigan, so you can stay in the game all season long with TVC, your Northern Michigan connection.
Coming back.
Okay.
And welcome back. Gladiators coming back out. They do put 6 points on the board.
Jason Peltier able to walk under his own power with some assistance. We wish him all the best. Hopefully he'll be okay. Maybe they tape him up and he makes it back. Here we go for the extra point. Jack Jones with the snap.
Good hold, good kick. Daziak the holder. Wildfong to put it up and put it through. And it's actually Jack Young, I believe, there to give appropriate credit where credit is due.
On the snap, yes, absolutely.
And the Gladiators take their first drive, total of 4 plays, and punch it in. It was a 56-yard touchdown drive. They were aided by a couple of Husky penalties. But it was Evan Bellinger capping it off for an 8-yard touchdown run. Evan Bellinger plunges in for 8 yards as the Gladiators take the 7-0 lead over the Benzie Central Huskies. Well, once again, we want to talk about the upcoming schedule for the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators because, well, we've got ourselves some pretty cool upcoming games. Home next week, Saturday versus Grayling, and then at Kingsley. That's a big one. So the next 2 games for the Glads will certainly be ones that you'll want to tune into, and you can tune into those games on Next Level Broadcasting or nextlevelbroadcasting.net.
Yeah, if I'm Coach Sellers, I definitely want to see an error-free game by the Gladiators tonight. That's just going to springboard them into the next 2 games, which are crucial.
You bet. I couldn't have said it better myself, Scott, as Sam Wildfong will tee it up. Back deep for Benzie is Zachary Hendrick and Mason Childs. Excuse me, Finn Smith right there at the goal line. He'll let it go in for a touchback. So first chance to see this Husky offense come out and first chance to see this Gladiator defense, Scott.
Yes. This here are the keys. Again, just to recap what the pregame. Last week, we saw a lot of passing, and we were fortunate to see a lot of drop passes. But when they did pass, there were times where the receivers were open, and it was simply a drop pass. So, you know, I'm not dogging on anyone, but I want to make sure, and I'm sure coaches do as well, to see a little better job with coverage, with reading these linebackers, reading the guards, et cetera, et cetera.
This is Rowan Zickert going to swing this one out to Smith in the flat. Smith is eventually brought down after loss on the play by Ethan Daziak.
If we look at this one again, we run it back if there's time. You're going to see 2 Gladiator defenders and 3 receivers over here. So we got pretty lucky there that we were able to come in and make that touchdown. Need to be reading what the offense is presenting for the defense. That's crucial. And again, you know, they've been working on this since late or August, so there's a lot of adjustments to make. Now we're set up properly on the left.
Zickert in the pistol. He's going to look to throw now again. Pumps, fakes, throws it deep down the sideline, intended for Smith. He's got it into Gladiator territory. Finn Smith has a big-time completion on the deep ball from Zickert all the way from the 20 to the 40, a pickup of 30 yards, 40 yards on the pitch and catch.
Now, I've been talking about being, you know, in position and getting the right catch or the right coverage. Now, Daziak was there. It was one-on-one coverage. He was there. He had his arm up to get in the way, all of those sort of things. But you know, fortunately for the Huskies, that was just he was focused and able to make that reception. So, nice play for Benzie Central.
Apologies for the shaky video there. Our camera is in the stand, so here on the Husky sideline, a big play like that generating a lot of energy, thus a little commotion as Zickert now in the empty formation. Finn in orbit motion. They're going to pitch it to Finn, and it's on the turf. Finn is able to scoop it up after he's eventually guided to the ground by Bo Classens. It'll be a loss of roughly 3 yards on that misaligned pitch play.
Again, we talk about all the time. We talk about you know, mistakes and how they affect the flow of the game. So this is just another situation where, you know, who makes the least amount of mistakes.
Once again, Zickert by himself trips to the top of the screen, twins to the bottom for the Huskies. This time they motion Dane Gillison. He gets it, and he's tripped up near their original line of scrimmage. Michael Frederick and Sam Wildfong in there, and Frederick was the first to bring him down. First tackle for Frederick.
Eckler in on that one as well. Good job, Ben, hustling all the way across from your position and getting all the way there to make that tackle. Great job. Yeah, Larry, thank you for the notes about the video. We're addressing that. It's there. The camera's literally in the stands, but thank you.
Here's the snap and the handoff. Running out sideline is Gillison, and Gillison is pushed out of bounds at the Gladiator 33. And this will be a 4th and a long 3 for the Huskies. Cooper Sellers on the stop. All right, so our first pivotal play of the game, it's the Huskies. They need to get to the 30-yard line in order to move the chains here. Zickert in the shotgun formation. He's going to look to throw, and he's going to have an incomplete pass intended for Gillison. Let's go ahead and bring that one back, Scott.
So you watch this great play. It's almost a pick play. The down receiver cuts infield and then gets in the way of the defender who leaves that receiver wide open. So fortunately, overthrown pass. Fortunately for St. Francis, an overthrown pass. So turnover, yes.
Gladiators now coming out in their spread formation. Twins to the top and bottom of the screen. Enders flanked to his left by Bellinger. Enders is going to throw a little curl route intended for Lisinski. Falls incomplete. Coverage on the play by Finn Smith.
Right there, that's, to me, we just need Enders to just, take a couple breaths, slow down. He had plenty of time. He beat that pattern. He got the ball there before Lisinski got a chance to be there.
Second down and 10 now. Gladiators back in that full house backfield set formation. And here's the handoff, and he breaks free. This is Daziak. Daziak with a lane. He's got speed. He's going to take this all the way for a touchdown. Gladiators.
From the 35, yeah?
That'll put it in the books as a 65-yard touchdown run. How about that?
That is pretty awesome. None of that happens without blocking and some downfield blocking. That was pretty amazing, too. So, team play right there. Nice running by Daziak, not to take anything from him, of course. Great stuff. You hear me get quiet when I'm trying to do notes at the same time as talk. Multitasking, not something I'm good at. So Wild Fong back for the extra point. Daziak for the hold. Young for the snap.
Good snap, clean hold, kick is up, kick is good. So Wild Fong is 2 for 2. The Gladiators score on 2 plays on the 65-yard touchdown run. Well, excuse me, was that 2 plays there? Let me go back. We had an incompletion.
We did. We had incompletion to Lisinski and then that one.
Yep. How about that? Efficient.
Why do more if you have to? Hey, just a shout out to Jessica Alcorn. She's Go St. Francis, watching live from the flight in Traverse City. TVC Airport.
That's right.
Well, that's a perfect segue.
The TVC Airport allowing Jessica to get down to Alabama. So thanks for tuning in, Jessica.
And while we're in this transition between their second touchdown, but also Corvus, someone near and dear to me. Let's Go St. Francis. How's it going? Hugo. And also Steven Stock. Let's Go Glads. Scott, you sound great. Well, thanks, Steve. That's nice of you. I have a face for radio, that's for sure. So here we go. Back at the 40, kicking off. Mr. Wildfong getting ready to knock another one into the end zone. One of these times, Charles, I think we need to film how far into the end zone his extra point goes, like past the field goal post, because that is something impressive. Just a little chip shot, and he's going a good 20 yards past it.
Here's a high end-over-end kick that'll go into the end zone. Dang. So Wildfong is 2 for 2.
You know what? I love this. Some of these 52. I was watching some plays out there. Oliver Jaworski on that kickoff, coming down and laying somebody out. You know, obviously it was legal. It was a clean play, but he just he welcomed them to the game. And I love to see that. Sometimes some of the greatest stuff to watch isn't necessarily where the ball is, rather, where everything else is happening. So the Huskies come out in their same formation with one back.
All right, here we go. Finn Smith in motion. They're going to hand this one off to Gillison. And he's met in the backfield. Tackle for a loss there by Oliver Jaworski.
And then Jake Reineck back there. This is a play I always used to love, right? Coach, if I don't know who to tackle, who do I hit? Hit somebody. That's exactly. He took out the quarterback right as he's handing off the ball, and then and then it's cleaned up. Of course, you count on your teammate to do their job. You do your job. So that's fantastic.
I want to apologize to people. It looks like we're experiencing some stream delays as we're pushing this game out live. We'll get that corrected here.
Looks like we're set up for another pass.
Rolling to his right, sacked in the backfield.
Oh.
Look at that. Coming in to make the play is Jake Reineck.
Well, I talked about him last play, but I guess I could have saved that for this one. You know, coming in as a sophomore, making a dynamite play like that, it looked like they were in a strong right, so that means right out of the gate they're taking a step to the right. And, you know, the line just clearly wasn't ready for that, and he was through there in no time. 5'11", 230. He looked coming through like he was about 6'5", 280. So great job, Jake. Backing him up to about the 7, looks like. Crucial 3rd down for this drive for them. Motion. Pitch to the motion around the right side.
Going to throw it over to Smith. And
ooh, dangerous.
Yeah, play defended there by Adam David. It was Finn Smith, the intended target.
Gillison's pass falls incomplete, intended for Finn Smith. That'll bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, when Gillison's coming around to the right and trying to throw back to the left, that's a difficult pass. So if he had time, that would have been one to stop, get your footing in front of you, and proper weight distribution where it needs to be. So we're looking at Pfeiferick and Thompson back for this punt. That can always be fireworks for sure. Oh boy, close on the block. Out of bounds at the 39. So St. Francis, oh, nope, we're going to move that back a little bit. That always mystifies me. 35-yard line is where the Husky 35-yard line is where St. Francis will take over. 1st down and 10. You're going to hear a bit more of me at this point. Hopefully that's good. Again, I'm watching now each and every play for St. Francis. Everybody to execute their blocks downfield. Lazinski in the backfield. Lazinski and Daziak. Dave, if you're listening, I'm sorry I missed your call. Hand off to Bo Classens. Nice run, getting about 8.
Bo Classens, the ball carrier. He is taken down by number 16, Joseph Abeda.
Joseph Abeda with the tackle. After about 8. And so same lineup, same backfield. Oh, another jump. So when you're on the defense and you're there on the line, we were always told in your peripheral vision, you're looking and you're seeing the ball in your peripheral vision if you're a defensive tackle, or if you're the nose guard, you have no excuse because it's right in front of you. And keying on that ball will be crucial. Huskies, I can ill afford these kind of mistakes. Adam, great to hear from you. Yeah, the Glads are a awesome looking team right now. Enders throws one off his back foot to Alex Jeter.
Jeter with the touchdown. How about that? Put it on the board for a 20-yard touchdown pass from Tyler Endress to Alex Jeter. Take another look at that one here. It's a beautiful looking throw on the corner route, and he put it right on the money.
That's what we do out in the backyard. That was just a simple toss and catch, and they made that look pretty easy. Jeter, a senior tight end at 6'3". He's got a wingspan a mile long, so he was able to bring that in. One more time, see if you can get how far that ball goes into past the field goal post. Nice snap, field goal. So we got a little Sellers out there, I'm sure, and he was on the grass beyond the the practice track back there. So that's a pretty impressive pass, and that makes the game 21-0 with 4:25 yet in the first quarter.
And we're going to go ahead and step aside. We're going to send it out to commercial break. You're watching Gladiator Football here on Next Level Broadcasting. We'll be back after this.
Today's game is brought to you by Redmond Automotive, Pop Excavating, Traverse City Cherry Capital Airport, Culver Meadows, Farm Bureau Insurance, Carter and Associates, BC Pizza, Alpers Excavating, Grand Traverse Hauling and Junk Removal, Edward Jones, Justin Liptak, 3 West, and Team Elmers. We hope you're enjoying today's game.
All right, guys, this is what we get.
And welcome back in. We've got 4 minutes and 25 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Go ahead and reset that here. As Sam Wildfong getting ready to kick this one away. As we're underway. Gladiators up 21-0. And it's once again a touchback. How about that? 3 for 3.
It's getting to be routine. 13, yeah. Mr. Bell considered grabbing it, but I think he was wise to let it go. As Gladiators were definitely in their lanes coming down, he would have been lucky to get 20 from that. So smart move, and that's crucial, right? Making good plays all the way through, very important. Single back, 2 split to the left.
They're going to run this one up the middle. This is Zickert looking to pick his way through traffic, and he does just that.
We run a counter where you have 3 backs coming through and you don't know who's going to get that. That play looked as though he was passing it to the fullback and then took off behind him and ran. The fullback ended up as a blocker. So a really decently designed play right there. So Steve Stocks down in Orlando. That's kind of cool. We talked about him earlier. He says he's live in Orlando, so hopefully you're getting a good signal down there.
Zickert sending Gillison in motion. Zickert is going to hand this one off. Keeping the feet moving is Parker Pritchett. And Pritchett's got a Benzie Central first down out to the 39-yard line.
So that was Lazinski with the tackle. No, it wasn't. Correction. That's Adam David with the final tackle on that one. That's a big boy running at you. So good job getting that one down. Ideally, though, when we're seeing a run right up the gut, it'd be nice not to have your safety making that tackle. Looks like we're playing a 6-1.
Yep.
Around the outside. Zicker on that one again. So we're continuing to work out things, make sure we get the broadcast exactly tuned like it should be.
Yeah, we're working on.
Thank you for the notes. We appreciate that.
Yep. The video bugs, audio's sounding fine right now. Just working on the video bugs here as we are approaching sunset.
Oh, man.
Beautiful sunset.
Show that wide shot when you get a chance.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Ooh, Glad's almost jumped off there.
Here's a pitch to Smith. Smith trying to get to the corner. He's got it. Smith turns the corner into Gladiator territory, eventually brought down there by Adam Dave, as this energy from Husky Nation has picked up once again.
Yeah, for sure they're excited about that. That side, that containment was wide open, and so they took advantage of it. We cannot allow our ends to break down inside. They have to keep containment. And then, especially when we're running like a 6-3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 5-3. 2 linebackers coming up, 1 in the middle, and then your outside linebackers. So they're responsible for the containment. A little motion, but they seem to let that go. All right, change the play back. Timeout. Yeah, like what play are we doing, Coach? Is what that kind of looked like. So they call the timeout, regroup, and see if they can get things sorted out. Yeah, that's a beautiful view over there with that sunset coming down. I don't know what it looks like where you're watching, but over here it's pretty dang beautiful. So we'll watch again as you're looking to see, hey, where are the areas that the Gladiators can continue to improve? Outside containment is always going to be a big deal.
Well, while we have an opportunity to do so during this timeout, we want to thank some of our sponsors tonight. We want to thank our friends at Redmond Automotive. Listen, Gladiator fans and families, we know that sometimes your teen drivers get in the occasional fender bender or put a transmission out of order if they're trying to drive that manual. When these occasions occur, trust the pros at Redmond Automotive to get your ride back on track as quickly as possible. A full-service and family-owned and operated business for over 35 years. That's Redmond Automotive, the engine behind Gladiator football. Here's 1st and 10 now for the Huskies. Zickert one more time sending Gillison in motion. It'll be a handoff to Smith, and Smith is brought down by Tyler Endress there as Evan Bellinger also helps to make the play.
Yeah, that time, I tell you what, kudos. I'm up here talking about what I think they need to do, and I saw Tyler Endress staying in place on that end, and then Bellinger as well helping on that play. So nice job turning it inside so your linebacker can come through and make that tackle. Well done. That's team tackling if I've ever seen it.
Gillison in motion. Here's a pitch to him. He's trying to get to the corner. Flying out of his safety spot is Adam David, but Gillison still on his feet, and he looks like he's got, they're going to mark him just short of first down yardage.
So that's one where you got other people, you have other players on the inside. Love to see David next time take a different angle of pursuit. Cut that corner a little bit more. Instead of coming where he was, you'd be going to where he's going. And then he's going to have to make some corrections, maybe come inside, and then you have your other teammates to help you there. So good hustle, but love to see Adam get outside of that one.
Finn Smith in motion. There's a handoff up the middle to Pritchett, and he's still running. And actually, excuse me, that is Rowan Zickert. I was faked out by the fake there in the backfield as Zickert sets the Huskies up 1st and goal from the 10-yard line.
It'll be a 1st and goal, Benzie Central. He was taken down by number 12, Tyler Endress.
So Tyler starting on this side of the line, it goes away from him, hustles all the way to the opposite side of the field to make that tackle. Ideally, that tackle's made on the other side of the field.
Here's 1st and goal. Handoff over to Smith. Smith brought down by Tyler Endress. It's interesting to see the quarterback here getting some snaps on defense, Scott. Nice to see him mixing it up a little bit, not afraid to put the pads down and lay the shoulder into somebody.
I mean, you know, Brett Favre, that's how he won over the Lions. He was a beast, right? We just don't want him hurt. Sam Wildfong in on that tackle as well. Nice play by him.
So after 12 minutes in the books, Gladiators put 3 touchdowns on the board, 3 for 3 for point afters by Sam Wildfong, and take the 21-0 lead to the 2nd quarter. We're going to step aside. You're watching Gladiator football here on Next Level Broadcasting. We'll be back after this.
Today's game is brought to you by Redmond Automotive, Pop Excavating, Traverse City Cherry Capital Airport, Culver Meadows, Farm Bureau Insurance, Carter & Associates, BC Pizza, Alpers Excavating, Grand Traverse Hauling and Junk.
Do you like the outdoors?
Edward
Do you
Jones.
like action, being part of a team, and big machines? At Team Elmer's, we're not just building roads and infrastructure, we're building dreams and communities. And as a 100% employee-owned company, we value every employee owner with a commitment to excellence and a culture where everything we do it with heart. Every day brings new opportunities for adventure. Apply now at teamelmers.com/careers and be part of something extraordinary.
Discover Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union in Traverse City. We make banking secure and convenient with biometric logins and remote deposit capture. Whether you need loans, mortgages, or credit cards, we've got you covered. Manage your finances effortlessly with our online banking services. Grow your savings with our competitive rates and savings products. Experience the difference with Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
And welcome back in. We'll get this quarter straightened around here, but it's 1st and goal as Zickert's rolling to his right, throwing this one out in the flat, intended for Gillison. We'll put 12 minutes back up on the clock as we are now officially here in the second quarter. Second quarter tonight brought to you by our friends at the Traverse City Cherry Capital Airport. It's time to fly around the fall with TVC Cherry Capital Airport, getting you to tons of nonstop destinations with 7 air carrier services. But where would you want to be outside of in northern Michigan right now? And if you're the Gladiators, they're looking strong so far, Scott.
Well, maybe you could take a flight here. But, yeah, that was a nice play by Bellinger on the outside. If you can't make the tackle, get your hands up in the air, and that's exactly what he did and tipped that pass. Oh, wow. A hammer came in from Adam David on that one. He stuffed it. I missed. I'll have to say Gillison was the runner coming directly kind of east-west. He didn't head south or north at all. And Adam David came in and made a smack on that one for sure. So they'll start 4th down. 4th and goal is what it looks like to me. So Zickert drops back for the pass. He's got a receiver and a little miscommunication. The receiver went down and in, and it looks like that should have been a down and out. So he didn't have a lot of time to adjust Zickert, so he threw it a timing play. That's a timing pattern when that happens, and unfortunately for the Huskies, just a little bit of miscommunication.
Okay, good. Steven says that the camera is back and
Working good. Thank you, sir. We got a couple Stevens watching this. Let us know if you're watching. You can either text me if you know my phone number, or you can on the YouTube chat site drop something on there. If you're watching this on your TV, you're probably not going to send us a whole lot of messages, but we want to hear from you. I have a lot of moving pieces here, but we're doing our best. Here we go with Endress back. Back in motion, gets the ball. That's Thompson to the right-hand side. Lots of blocks. Looks like he's 9 yards on that carry.
Number 2, Tyler Thompson, the ball carrier. Pickup of 11 yards. That's enough for a Gladiator first down.
Well, how about that? So where they were standing with the marker, it looked like 9, but then the announcer just said it's 11. So we'll take that first down. Nice job, Mr. Thompson, with your 11-yard run. So Jetter split wide left, again with the motion at the line. Endress is looking to his left. Going to let it rip. Oh, that is what we call some fantastic play, reading the defender. So we had Tyler Thompson in position to get that ball. Rowan Zickert came in and watched his eyes. Beautiful play. Just stuck his hand up and said, okay, I'm going to try and get in the way on this pass, and that's exactly what he did and knocked it down. So nice defensive play by Zickert. That's hard to do. You're out of position, you're behind him, and you're just reading the eyes of the receiver. Definitely an athlete there. So we look at first down pass attempt. We drop to 2nd and 10.
There's a handoff here coming around the left side of the offensive line, still keeping the legs turning.
Wow.
And that is Lisinski, excuse me. He broke about 3, maybe 5 tackles on that carry and has enough to move the chains for the Gladiators. That was impressive.
I tell you what, one of the things I'm trying to adjust to up here, Charles, is that was difficult to to call because all 3 backs come through like they're carrying the ball, and a lot of times you see backs run standing straight up. Not the Gladiator backs. They're all running forward, so they're falling forward, they're leaning forward. Makes it a little hard to see their numbers, but definitely a great run. Drop ball.
Yep, that one just kind of slipped through the hands of Tyler Endress. That'll back him up 6 yards in the backfield after that one was just a little bit too hot to handle.
However, that's a veteran play there by Endress because, you're a stud. You want to make a play every time you can, and instead the best play there that he did was to fall on that ball because, you know, it's just too easy to not be able to grab it and then lose it. So good play by Endress. Get it, covering up the ball there.
They go under center now, I formation. Endress going to drop back to throw on a 5-step drop over the middle, overshooting his intended target, Sam Wildfong. So that'll make it 3rd and 15 for the Gladiators.
I tell you, one of the hardest things, I got to play quarterback. I know if you saw the pregame and you saw me, you wouldn't think so. But I did. I played quarterback my freshman year. It was funny. I would play nose guard and then move over to the other side and play quarterback. But it's one of the most difficult things is to do that check down from your routes and be able to do that quickly. There's a lot of things to look at, and so that is definitely a tough thing.
So this will be 3rd and 15 now for the Gladiators. There's Lisinski in motion. Endress going to throw this one back. He's got a completion to Sam Wildfong. He's slipping through one tackle. Wildfong with a lot of open grass in front. He's into Husky territory, cuts it back down at the 40-yard line. What a play for the Gladiators. Mark that one as a 35-yard gain, but there is a penalty marker thrown at the Husky 46-yard line, so we'll have to check the laundry on the field.
Yeah, early on, I would say there was a block in the back. It's probably going to be the call. We'll hear that when once they get a chance to chat about it. We had our guys out in the screen. That long snap drops back for the pass. And once again, it looks like miscommunication. The receiver went out. He passed in. That would get frustrating.
And as we're back right now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to apologize for that brief little interruption there. You didn't miss any action after that 41-yard Braxton Lisinski touchdown run. It's the next possession right now as the Huskies are trying to advance the ball once again into Gladiator territory. They've had it in the Gladiator territory twice so far in the game.
4th down and 7, and we're going for it. They're going for it.
Yep, here is the play here. Dropped in the backfield, trying to make something happen with it, but nothing going on as the Gladiators swarm the Huskies. It'll be Gladiator football at the 18-yard line on the 4th down turnover.
Nice hustle by Jake Reinick being back there first. Just in his face, and he had to look somewhere, see where to go.
Yeah, I mean, that play was doomed from the beginning there. If you were looking for the Huskies to try to make something happen on that 4th and 7, they just weren't on the same page from the jump. And when you need to have it most on 4th down, you can't have a setback like that, unfortunately, for the Huskies. So
well, special teams. Every aspect of your team team is important.
Special teams, defense, offense, you got to be able to snap the ball, and unfortunately they weren't able to do it here. There's a handoff to Tyler Thompson, and Tyler Thompson has about 6 yards there, and he's going to be eventually brought down by, looked like Finn Smith on the tackle. Actually, that was Parker Pritchett.
I tell you what, you're running on the right-hand side watching Thompson come around Russell over there. Just some fantastic blocking going on, team blocking.
Gladiators coming back out. Full house set now for Tyler Endress, and we get a couple different running backs in the backfield as there's a handoff working around the left side to Brennan Ludka. And Ludka, excuse me, that's Cooper Sellers. Cooper
16.
Sellers, 16 in there, has the touchdown for the Gladiators. Let's take another look. Right there. Cuts it back, cuts it up. Nice job of following his blocks by Cooper Sellers, and he's in. 34-0 now after Sellers adds 6 more for the Glads. Once again, Wildfong looking to go 5 for 5 on these point after attempts. And are awaiting the snap. It's a good looking snap. This kick is no good.
Shanked it to the left.
So wide left. But the Gladiators do put 4 more points on the board. And Scott, it appears you were correct. Cooper Sellers, 16, the long snapper here tonight. So Gladiators keeping us on our toes, but they're certainly keeping points on the board as they're up 34-0 with exactly half of this second quarter yet to play.
Yeah, so well, one thing that does is it keeps it as a normal clock, right? When we get 35-point deficit, then we have a running clock, so, or without stopping, and so that's interesting that happened right there. But shout out to my family listening to Traverse City. Hi, everybody, especially my lovely wife Johanna. And but I tell you what, it's awesome to watch. One of the things that I've noticed, we have 5 scores and at least 4 different Gladiator scoring. So we're spreading that around, and I think that's crucial.
Want to remind everyone, coming up, we will have the Traverse City Cherry Capital Airport halftime show. Whenever we do reach halftime, as the Gladiators will be kicking this one away. Once again, Sam Wildfong back deep for the Huskies as Finn Smith and Dane Gillitson. As Wildfong puts his thunderous right foot down into this one, and it's going to, guess what, touchback.
Yeah, that actually landed inside the end zone. That's handy when you can have that, right? Like, I know if you're on the kickoff team, you're thinking, oh, man, this is my opportunity to just crush somebody. However, a lot more luck to be able to, a much better play to put them on the 20 and just start from there, start from fresh, and not take a chance of a run back.
So we'll see what this Benzie Central Husky offense has in store for us after they had the turnover on downs their last possession. Want to give a shout out to our cameraman here tonight, Burr Aubrey, the Gladiator graduate, also an Eagle Scout.
Also a St. Francis de Cantanti alum. Pitch around the right-hand side, and he's surrounded by Gladiators.
Yeah, that was Gillison on the pitch, and he was eventually brought down there by the Gladiators. First one in there was Ben Eckler.
Eckler for sure. He had some teammates with him, but Eckler was right in there to make that tackle. Nice job, sir. When you're looking at a junior, and it's nice to see the juniors out there representing. 6'4", 247, moving around, and kept good containment. It was a beautiful play.
Finn Smith, the motion man. Zickert's going to keep this one. He's got a lane, breaks a tackle. Rowan Zickert in a foot race, eventually dragged down from behind by Adam David. But we do have a penalty marker down at the Husky 40-yard line on the far side of the field.
It's about a 40-yard, 40-some yard, 43-yard run.
But we'll have to check the marker. It's thrown by the far side line judge right at the 40.
That's usually
in the area of holding.
Indicative of holding, is it not?
Looks like they're petitioning the Gladiators what they want to do. And it appears like it is against the Gladiators as we get the official signal here. So we've got a dead ball sideline, a sideline violation on the Gladiators sideline there. That was the penalty, so that will move the ball to the Gladiators 17-yard line. A momentous play for the Huskies. Rowan Zickert gets loose for 43 yards. Finn Smith in motion. Here's the handoff to Pritchett. And Pritchett is stacked up, excuse me. That's Lane Sanchez, the ball carrier there.
A little extracurricular activity at the end there, but you know, sometimes you can't help but fall down, but might have let go, but caught the audience's attention here when that nice little flip. But you asked Pritchard, he won't even remember it. So they have momentum on their side.
Huskies 2nd down and 10. They need to get just inside the 10-yard line for a fresh set of downs. There's a handoff to Gillison working around the corner. Pushed out of bounds at about the 11-yard line.
Looked like Adam David in on that one. Again, with that containment, you know, trying to break the outside, I thought that St. Francis did a pretty decent job there maintaining that coverage.
And Gillison there was, it looked like he had an opportunity to turn the corner there, but the pursuit by the Gladiators really thwarted that.
Mason Holschler in on that play as well. We just saw him back off.
There's that jet motion. Zickert keeps it. Zickert puts his shoulder down, trying to get to the 10-yard line.
21. Lance Voss coming in to pack a wallop on there. There was a few other St. Francis Gladiators had him wrapped up, and then Lance came in and said, "Hello, this is for you." Those are amazing plays. A lot of fun to deliver a little wallop there at the end.
We've got a timeout here on the field taken by the Huskies. And as they take a timeout, we're going to keep it right here and tell you about our friends at Pop Excavating. Hey, Traverse City, can you dig it? Well, our friends at Pop Excavating sure can. Specializing in septic systems, drain fields, house foundational footprints, land clearing, wintertime snow plowing, and much more. For your next large-scale project, leave the digging to Pop Excavating. Visit popexcavating.com for more information. We also want to tell you about Team Elmers. Established in 1956, and ever since, Team Elmers has been committed to building better communities, and they're proud to be bringing you the Team Elmers hardest working player of the game tonight. The Team Elmers wants you to know that that hardest working player of the game is indeed a very special honor. Last week, that honor went to number 5, Ethan Daziak, as he had a couple different types of touchdowns through the air and on the ground last week, and he was the hardest working player of the game. And we'll do that once again here in the 4th quarter, award that Team Elmer's hardest working player of the game. That'll be a fun one. Scott, any front runners so far in your mind?
Well, I tell you what, like I said earlier, we've seen the ball be handled by quite a few different Gladiators.
And here's 4th down. Huskies go up the middle to Gillison. Gillison is stacked up in the backfield by John David Carlson. And there's a turnover on downs. Let's take another look at this play in the backfield by John.
As he comes through.
Boom, right there.
Yeah, nice play.
Excellent pursuit. Way to read that play. And Carlson forces another turnover on downs. The Huskies did do a better job there of moving the ball, but the Gladiators once again take over, stop a Husky drive at the Gladiator 11-yard line. So back out go the Glads. Tyler Endress and company looking to try to score, would make this a running clock at halftime if they're able to put more points on the board. Tyler Thompson in motion, and this snap got away. It's still on the ground, and it's recovered in the end zone for a touchdown. How about that? The Huskies jump on it and just find their way into the end zone. It was eventually recovered there by David White and Jesse Mummy.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times I was curious. We had a fumbled ball over here on the other side, and here, and when the temperature drops, you hit that dew point. It's bringing a little bit of moisture out there, and I'm wondering if that's affected being able to grab that ball now that we've seen it a couple times get. I mean, it just popped right out of Endress's arms. He fell right on it. It wasn't like he tried to pick it up.
So this will bring on Lane Sanchez for the point after attempt, and it is right down the pipe. So the Huskies in the right place at the right time, capitalizing on the Gladiator miscue. And Benzie Central put 7 points on the board, courtesy of the David White, excuse me, not David Wright. It was Jesse Mummy, 57 in there, who was able to get the touchdown in the end, or the recovery of the ball in the end zone for the touchdown for the Huskies. Say that 10 times fast.
I don't care to. No, that sounds a little bit difficult for me. Thank you. Here is that Benzie fight song we've been waiting for. Or they're just warming up. That would be a scale. Da, da, dee, da, dee. Yeah, they're just warming up. So that's not. That's why we didn't get that fight song. But certainly they have to be relieved to not go into that halftime with 0 points on the board.
Yeah, that's just a mishap by the Gladiators. Huskies able to capitalize off of it and take advantage, and doing so puts them on the scoreboard for the first time. The Huskies have had opportunities. They've been in Gladiator territory a few times so far, but this time the defense able to come through and put the first points on the board for Benzie Central.
Well, as a former interior defensive lineman, I'm here to tell you that defense wins games. So, yeah, way to go, Benzie defense, to get in there and cover that ball. I mean, there was a hit on Andrus that made it pop right out of his hands, and they recovered it.
Lane Sanchez boots this one away. High on end-over-end kick fielded by Tyler Thompson at his own 10-yard line. Thompson is brought down at the 26, so a 16-yard return for him. Gladiator offense comes right back out on the field. While they do so, I'll tell you about Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union. Listen, they're celebrating their 75th anniversary this year, and Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union wants you to know so that you can celebrate with them. They're your all-in-one financial service provider, helping you invest in yourself and those around you. Federally insured and an equal housing lender. That's Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union, a proud sponsor of tonight's game here on Next Level Broadcasting, bringing you Gladiator football all season long. As we have a handoff to Daziak. Daziak's got a first down near the 44-yard line, where he's eventually brought down by Rowan Zickert. I thought the left side of the offensive line moved just a hair early there,
They got a little jump start on that left side for sure. So careful, boys. You want to focus. Like, you've made some mistakes that helped contribute to that score right there, moving the field position back. And so now we just got to kind of reset and get back to Gladiator football.
Here's a handoff once again. Bouncing off a couple tackles is Braxton Lisinski into Husky territory, pushed out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
Can you run that
by
back?
Joseph Abeda. Yeah, we'll go ahead and
run that one back. I just want to point out Eckler here, 74, Ben Eckler. Gets on his block there, right, and he could have made the tackle, but Ben stays with it and carries that all the way through. So had he given up and let go, that might not have fielded us that many yards. So good job, Ben Eckler.
Gladiators snap it with 2 minutes, 50 seconds left in this first half. Got a completion or incomplete pass intended for Daziak out in the flat. So that'll stop the clock with 2 minutes, 46 seconds remaining here.
Yeah, coming, dropping right like that. And the bootleg right, thank you. Bootleg right, throwing back across your body can be quite difficult, and Andrus had some zip on that ball for sure, so that had to be a hands catch. It was placed only where Daziak could get it, and maybe a little bit beyond what he could, obviously. But I would say we'll see some more of that.
Here's 2nd and 10. Tyler Andrus is going to keep it on the design quarterback scramble. And he's keeping the legs turning down to the 37-yard line of the Huskies. Give him roughly 7 yards on the carry.
Parker Pritchett, first one in there on the tackle, then joined by a group. According to the field announcer, Jacob Kuljeski was also in there, and Mr. Mummy. So good job.
Andrus now in the shotgun, rolling to his right, throws it out to flat. That's Sam Wildfong. Can he get through the tackle? He can't, but he's got a first down. That'll keep the chains moving in the Gladiator offense. Now rolling along here as well. And I didn't see who made the tackle there, but it will nonetheless allow the Gladiators to keep this drive alive. 1 minute and just under 50 seconds left to go in this first half. I formation now. Tyler Endress hands this to Braxton Lisinski. Lisinski trying to keep his balance, but is eventually stopped after a 2-yard gain on the play, and he was eventually dropped by Ramon Palmer and Thomas Bell for the Huskies. So it'll be 2nd and 6 after the timeout by the Gladiators. And if you're just now joining us, the Gladiators scored 34 unanswered points, and then the Benzie Central Huskies responded back with a fumble recovery in the end zone for a touchdown. And that's how we got to this score right now, 34-7. It all started off for the Gladiators with that Evan Bellinger 8-yard touchdown run, and then Daziak had a 65-yard touchdown run. Alex Jetter had a 20-yard touchdown catch. And, I mean, those were the first 3 scores. And then after that, the Gladiators just kept putting it on, adding 2 more scores there. And then the Huskies got the most recent score via the Jesse Mummy recovery in the end zone for a touchdown.
So, yeah, Benzie offense struggling a little bit. Had some momentum going, but Benzie defense coming through for him with the safety. The recovery, actually, not a safety. Recovery of the ball in the end zone.
Endress looking to throw. Got a man down the sideline on the wheel route. Got it to Lisinski. Excuse me, Daziak. Or Lisinski. I get the 5 and the 9 confused so often, but I had it right. Touchdown, Lisinski.
Lisinski, 15-yard pass, and then yards after the reception, another
Boom.
10.
Beautiful ball. Endress laid that one right out underneath Lisinski to run down underneath it, and a well-executed play coming out of the timeout. That's how you can tell that this offensive coaching staff is in unison with these players, how they respond coming out of timeouts to the play that they want to run, Scott. And that right there seemed to be a play that they talked about in that timeout and came out and executed it.
Yeah, for sure, Charles. That's one of the great things you see when your quarterback gets plenty of time. He can look at his first, second, and third options for the reception. He looked over to Lisinski, and there he was, wide open.
Gladiators going for 2 here. Gun 2 back now for Tyler Endress. He's going to keep it himself, and he's in. 2-point conversion is good for the Gladiators. Make it 42-7 as they now edge up by 35 points over the Huskies. And that was a big, big response just for the offense here, Scott, because they had the mishap on the previous possession.
Yeah, for sure.
Got away from them, and now they're able to get it back.
Yeah, it's not simply about how good you are, right? Rocky Balboa, he says life is hard and it's going to knock you down, and it's not about how hard you can get hit, but how often you can get back up and keep on hitting. And in this case, Gladiators got popped one in the jaw right there and gave the fumble into the end zone, and that hurt. They got right back up and said, okay, let's go. And a beautiful drive with capped off with a nice pass, to Lisinski from Endress. So that's resiliency, and I think that should be the theme for the Gladiators. When you're down, be resilient, get back, and get back up. That's awesome. Well done. We have Wildfall back to kick another one with about a minute 29. I believe this will be a running clock once the clock does get going. Here he goes to kick. Beautiful kick. Just about to the end zone, touched, but in by number 2, Finn Smith, but then he decides otherwise. I'm going to just let that one go, which is a wise decision. So, 1st and 10 on the 20 for the Huskies. Now they have 1:29 left on the clock. What do they do? Do they try and bring it down, or do they just run out the clock and get to the end zone or get to their locker room to kind of regroup? Zickert with one lone back motion. Hand off to the motion number 5. And he got around the outside for sure. So once again, nice play by number 8, actually, Gillison. Came in motion, got the ball, 6-yard reception, or run, rather. And a good play. One where, again, I feel like they're doing a fantastic job on that play. The motion comes. I would love for my defensive end to see that and my cornerback to come up and make that hit. Motion to the left. Handed off outside again. That was Finn Smith running the ball there for a couple.
Finn Smith, the ball carrier, pick up about 1.
We're up in the box here, and I can hear the St. Francis coaches instructing the players, and they were happy with that. They were happy with that. Unfortunately, we have an injured player down on the field. You know, it's an athletic sport, and it's there's always that opportunity and a risk for someone to get hurt, and so we just pray for them and hope that they that he will be okay. We're putting a few more seconds on the clock. 104. They changed that from 53 to 104. With 42-7 is the score, with just a few minutes left before we get there. Again, I think this is a fantastic opportunity to just look at what the Gladiators have been able to do. The passes and the touchdowns going to 5 or 6 different receivers. That's just absolutely fantastic. Good news. Good news. Number 2, Finn Smith, up, walking off the field under his own power. So with 104 left on the clock, Benzie comes back out. Back for the pass, a quick pass over to the right side. No good. So here we go with the punt team once again, and how crucial special teams are here. Benzie definitely does not want to give the ball to St. Francis with good field position. Ideally, they're running it down. That one's off cleanly, bounces at the... Oh, we got the fake end around. It's Thompson going around the right-hand side. Makes it up to the 40.
Number 2, Tyler Thompson, returns that punt up to the Husky 42-yard line.
Husky player got laid out on that, and the crowd did not like it one iota. Yeah, that's when those things happen. It's easy as a parent, as a fan, to think, oh, that's illegal. But when that cutback happens, if you're going the wrong direction, I got laid out quite a few times, and that's a perfectly legal block. So here comes St. Francis Enders underneath center, 3-back setup. To Daisiak. To the right side, he cuts it back to the center. He's still going for about 15, it looks like.
Number 5, Ethan Deck, with 11-yard gain on that play. Results in a Gladiator first down.
First down for the Glads. Benzie calls a timeout. hear the Glads cheerleaders across the field. They're here in full force. Another beautiful, beautiful night for football. If you're not here, hopefully you're at least able to tune in. It's been a while since I've heard from anybody on the chat, so looking for you. I see Dave Clark. Can't wait to see my favorite player, number 3. So we have got had a couple opportunities to see Mr. Jeter, one of which would be a 20-yard touchdown. If you missed that in some of our technical difficulties or anything that happened, you'll be able to go back to YouTube and watch this game and look for that for sure. So it looks like St. Francis is just going to opt to run out the clock and leave it at 42-7. We will get a little bit from the Gladiator or the Husky band, but so as we make our way into halftime, there's a lot to reflect upon. Obviously, a commanding lead by the Gladiators at this point with 42-7 lead over the Huskies. So I would think that the Glads are going to go back and they're going to say, okay, good job, guys. Now what can we fix? What can we do better? What can we improve upon? And if we're the Husky team, I'm going to say, come back out at 0-0. Let's win the second half, and just let's do our best to improve upon what we're doing. It's a new coach. It's a new offense. They're learning. And so, yeah, they definitely – it's tough to rebuild a whole new coaching staff and everything. So they're just going to be encouraged to continue to grow from that point.
Well, thank you, Adam. Glad to hear that sound and video are coming through fine. And Steve's talk again from down there in sunny Florida.
This feels like a Florida night actually up here. So the Husky band about to come out on the field.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and step aside here real quick to the Traverse City Cherry Capital Airport halftime show. When we come back, we'll give you a live look in to this Benzie Central Husky marching band. Gladiators up 42-7. You're watching Gladiator football here on Next Level Broadcasting. We'll be back after this.
Discover Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union in Traverse City. We make banking secure and convenient with biometric logins and remote deposit capture. Whether you need loans, mortgages, or credit cards, we've got you covered. Manage your finances effortlessly with our online banking services. Grow your savings with our competitive rates and savings products. Experience the difference with Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union. Visit tcfedcu.org for more.
Do you like the outdoors? Do you like action, being part of a team, and big machines? At Team Elmer's, we're not just building roads and infrastructure, we're building dreams and communities. And as a 100% employee-owned company, we value every employee owner with a commitment to excellence and a culture where everything we do it with heart. Every day brings new opportunities for adventure. Apply now at teamelmers.com/careers and to be part of something extraordinary.
Hi, it's Kevin Klein from TVC. We're proud to help keep you connected to high sports in Northern Michigan, so you can stay in the game season long with TVC for Northern Michigan Connection.
All right, guys, here's what we get. we get BC Pizza.
BC Pizza, BC Pizza.
Today's game is brought to you by Redmond Automotive, Pop Excavating, Traverse City Cherry Capital Airport, Culver Meadows, Farm Bureau Insurance, Carter and Associates, BC Pizza, Alpers Excavating, Grand Traverse Hauling and Junk Removal, Edward Jones, Justin Liptak, 3 West. Today's game is brought to you by Redmond Automotive, Pop Excavating, Traverse City Cherry Capital Airport, Culver Meadows, Farm Bureau Insurance, Carter and Associates, BC Pizza, Alpers Excavating, Grand Traverse Hauling and Junk Removal, Edward Jones, Justin Liptak, 3 West, and Team Elmers. We hope you're enjoying today's game.
Welcome to Culver Meadows, Traverse City's premier family-owned senior living community specializing in dementia care. Here at Culver Meadows, we cultivate the perfect environment for your loved ones by combining our setting, scenery, and social interaction of our residents. We pride ourselves at being an extension of your own family here at Culver Meadows.
Call 231-633-9430.
When I applied for this job, I told them I was going to do it for 5 years, then get back to singing. 25 years later, I'm still here. Farm Bureau not only allows me to be part of this community, they encourage it. From teaching the choir, working the musicals, and now getting a chance to be part of this broadcast, I'm proud to support Traverse City St. Francis football. Go Glads!
that was your Husky marching band. A little bit of sounded like a little bit of the 90s there. That's awesome. Awesome to see them in full uniform and regalia. It's hard to get marching band programs up and moving. So whenever you can get one that's able to take the field and perform, that is a fantastic thing. There's just so much that goes into a marching band music program. Huge shout out tonight also to our audio engineer helping us with the mix, AC, my daughter, doing a fantastic job. And so we're here just trying to summarize what we saw. I mean, if we go back and we look, early on we score with an 8-yard run, Mr. Evan Bellinger. And then that's followed up still in the first quarter by Ethan Daziak with a 65-yarder. That was exciting for sure. And then a little bit later, still in the first quarter, we had a nice 20-yarder from Alex Jenner. So again, Dave, as you were saying, you wanted to look into seeing your favorite player. Go back and watch the replay on nextlevelbroadcasting.net or on YouTube. I neglected to write down, so somebody texted me who scored the next touchdown. It was a 55-yard TD. And then we gave the opportunity to Cooper Sellers with a nice reception. And then finally, the last score that I have written down would be Braxton Lazinski. So when we look at coming back out of a halftime, 42-7, far too easy to just let off the brakes. But there's a whole season ahead of us, and I think both teams will want to utilize this second half. This isn't a throwaway on any way, shape, or form. This is definitely time for them to utilize this opportunity to grow and to get better. Try and minimize mistakes. We saw a lot of early penalties for the Huskies early on. They're going to do their best not to have any at this point and reduce that. And the Gladiators, I think, likewise, are going to try and come out and do a errorless second half. As I watch them in the south end zone, they come out with quite a bit of bounce in their step, if you will, ready to come out and just conquer. And then we have the Huskies in the north end zone getting ready. I always loved this time as a player, the energy that builds up right before you get a chance to get out and get going. And I think the key in that situation is always to make sure that you're keeping that somewhat in control. So we'll be we're 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We're gonna step away for a second, and we will be back to bring you back some more Gladiator football.
the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators kick off to start the second half. Back deep for the Huskies is number 2, Ben Smith, and number 8, Dane Jillison.
And here we go. Start off the second half, 42-7. Gladiators will kick from their 40. The one and only, Mr. Wildfong. The boot is up. Smith grabs it at the 5-yard line, decides to take it, running to his left, breaks back to his right. Stopped by a host of Gladiators at the 20. So that's quite fortunate for them.
And I'm back, Scott.
Hey.
Thanks for hosting the halftime show. Appreciate that. The halftime show courtesy of Traverse City Cherry Capital Airport. And well, right now the Gladiators are flying high.
They definitely are. Nice team tackle on that kickoff return. And here we go to see what adjustments Benzie made during the halftime.
Zickert working from the shotgun again, and we will have the running clock here in this second half so far as they hand this one up the middle for about a 3-yard gain. Looks like the first Gladiator in there on the stop was Sam Wildfong, big number 20, making the stop after a gain of roughly 2 yards on 1st and 10 for the Huskies.
I'm going to throw some kudos and some love Gage Walters' way. He did a fantastic job. This senior lineman at 6 foot 243 was able to hold his offensive lineman in place. That's the only reason Wildfong was able to get in there. Nice play, Mr. Walter.
There's Zickert on the keeper. He's eventually brought down there by a couple of Gladiators. First one that I saw was Gage Walter again making another tackle.
Yeah, Walter in there with Wildfong. And, you know, also it takes a team. Michael Frederick was in there as well. When we played on our 88 state championship team, we had an average weight on the defensive line of 160. And a lot of people in Traverse City will know a fellow who I was fortunate enough to play with called Nate Elger. And he when he got in his position, he was about 4 inches off the ground, if that. So here we go with Zickert back. With Pritchard back with him. Dropping back for a pass.
He'll roll to his left, throw this one deep down the sideline. Almost caught, intended for Jillison, but we do have a hanky that comes out late on the play. And this one will be called against the Gladiators. It'll most likely be going against Bo Klassens. He was the man in coverage there. Jillison was the intended target.
We talked earlier the other way around where Zickert was able to read the eyes of the offensive player and defend that. It kind of looks like that's what Bo was trying to do there. He was a little bit had his back to the quarterback, and so he was just watching the eyes and trying to get in the way. However, the receiver coming back a little bit bumped into him, and that's all you really need for that pass interference.
So we still have the running clock here in this second half as the Huskies pitch this one here to Jillison. He'll turn it up and get popped just past the 40-yard line. And that was Cooper Sellers on the tackle. And he came in there and really laid the lumber. Excuse me.
No, that's going to be, it was Jacob Kraska.
Yeah.
It was Cooper Sellers who came in from the corner position and got in the way and turned him back upfield and then gave Jacob Kraska an opportunity to get in there and make the tackle. That's exactly what we want to see. When they're running these edge runs, we want to see that kind of containment. Great job, Mr. Sellers. Motion to the left. Handoff to Pritchard, right up the center.
Pritchard's going to take this one in a foot race. He can't be tracked down. Pritchard takes this one all the way to the goal line, 58 yards. Look at that, just got through the line, got the speed going, turned on the jets, and he was gone.
Yeah, almost as though St. Francis was running a power or a strong left basically pulled everybody out of alignment, and he came right up the middle. It was wide open, nice run, and he's not exactly slow. So nice run for Pritchard.
So the 58-yard touchdown run puts the Huskies back on the board, and they do convert the extra point attempt.
You know what? I love this. When you look at 34, Lane Sanchez, he is a senior. Height isn't one of his strong suits, yet he is out there on the team and contributing, which is fantastic. Beautiful. I mean, the special teams is so important. And so rather than be, I'm not going to play or whatever the case is, he found something he could do well, and he is really contributing to this Benzie team with those special teams plays. Nice job, Mr. Sanchez.
And that was a huge play, and we're actually going to make that our That's a Pizza, That's a Great Play. Scott.
That's a great play.
There you go. And that really was a great play by Pritchett because the Huskies needed a shot in the arm, and we'll see if that provides them just that as they strike first here in the third quarter of play. Once again, Charles Strail, Scott Carter, and Anne-Marie Carter.
Anna Maria
running our production here. Bert Ari, our videographer. Anna Maria also goes by AC as this one's kicked off and will be fielded by Daziak at the 12. And he's going to get pushed out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
Yep, Finn Smith with good containment on there. Had a teammate with him, but it was Smith who pushed him out of bounds.
Daziak there.
Yeah.
Bringing this one out. It'll be Gladiator football at the 21.
When you have a name like Daziak and it's spelt the way it is,
yeah,
you just expect it to be not pronounced correctly.
You just don't expect the public address announcer to give you any favors.
Oh, he's in that next room. Maybe I'd lean over and let him know that's Daziak, just to help him out.
Gladiators now trying to answer back after the 58-yard touchdown run by the Huskies. And they're going to hand this one off up the middle, getting out to the 30-yard line. And that was Bo Classens on the carry. Far side official says it's going to be second down.
Number 4, Bo Classens, the ball carrier for the Glads.
I do have an extra set of glasses. We could lend them. So St. Francis coming back up to the ball with a full backfield. Classens under center.
And they're going to turn and hand this one off the right side. And apologies there, that's actually Cooper Sellers under center for the Gladiators, now 16. And that was a handoff there to
number 7.
Rickern.
Yeah, nice. So we are seeing some of our second string in there, which is fantastic. This is a great opportunity to get them used to what they're doing. And
let's see what the Gladiators have dialed up here on first down and 10 from their own 36-yard line.
Let's see if we can get some of these numbers.
And they're going to hand this one off, a big-time stick there initially. And
that was Sellers to Voss.
Yeah.
Nice run by Voss and a equally nice hit from.
Yeah, he got hit there hard by Lane Sanchez and Tucker Pritchett on the tackle. And, well, that'll get you into the game right away, wouldn't it, Scott?
That'll wake you up, that's for sure. That Pritchett is a player.
Sellers under center in the full house set once again. He's going to turn the balls on the ground, and the ball is recovered by the Huskies. That's Dalton Mobley getting down on the ground to scoop that one up. That's the second Gladiator fumble recovered by the Huskies. So Mobley gives the Huskies a good field position here.
Yeah, I don't know that was supposed to be a pitch. Looks to me like that would have been a handoff, but as I actually was on the binoculars getting a good look at that, that ended up being a pitch back to the receiver, and he was not in any position to receive that. So turnover on a mistake, but you know, that's how you learn.
Here's Zickert now in the shotgun, going to boot to his left. Got pressure initially by the Gladiators, and he's going to be dropped for a loss. Sacked is Zickert, and the Gladiators force a 2-yard loss on that first down passing attempt.
I think it was Dave Clark was saying he was looking forward to seeing his favorite player, number 3. I tell you what, Jetter was like Aiden Hutchinson there. He was in the backfield before Zickert even got a chance to step back. So, yeah, nice pressure put on by him, and then a whole host of the Gladiators following up on that to make that touchdown. To make that tackle. Excuse me. I would say this is a passing down.
Yeah, 2nd and 12. They're going to put Gillison in motion. He's going to get it on the jet toss, and Gillison got near the 30-yard line on the carry, eventually brought down by Daisiak and Wildfong.
That's how we want that play to go if you're from your defensive side of things, right? He had no lane on the outside, so he had to try and turn it up to the middle. Still got a nice gain of 5 or 6. However, it didn't break around the outside and go for much further. So great job on this near side defense.
Twins to the top and bottom of the formation now for Zickert and Husky company. Yeah, Zickert keeps it, and he is brought down for a loss in the backfield. First Gladiator in there was Sam Wildfong, and that'll force a 4th and long.
That looks to me like that was a broken play. Mr. Sanchez was in there and came through, and if I were a gambling man, and sometimes I like to, I would guess that that was supposed to be a handoff to him when he went through that, left Zickert to just figure out what he's going to do from there.
So they'll call it 4th and 8. Line to gain is the 20, just inside the 25 on the Gladiator side of the 25-yard line for the Huskies. They send 2 receivers to the top and bottom. This is a false start or an encroachment. It will be an encroachment against the Gladiators. That'll give the Huskies a much easier 4th down, as it will now be 4th and 3.
That probably changes your play call. I agree with the pass at this point in the game, and sitting where they were on the field. A pass, even if it's short, still gets it down near the 20. Now they're looking at like a 4th and 4. And, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and run that ball if I'm the coach. They've had some success right up the middle. Probably look for Pritchard to get the ball. Number 21, right up the middle would be my call, if I'm guessing.
Pritchard behind Zickert in the pistol formation. Hard count for the Huskies. The Gladiators do not bite. Zickert now dropping back to throw, throws it, and it's behind his intended receiver. He was looking for Carson Vincent, and the Gladiators will take over on downs after the incomplete pass by the Huskies intended for Vincent.
If you're the quarterback and you drop back and you have like a half a second to think, that's hardly time to even get into your proper throwing position. So, you know, in all fairness for Pritchard, for Zickert, that's nearly impossible. You're dropping back and already you have somebody in your face. So very tough play to try and convert on for sure.
So the Gladiators come back out, led by Cooper Sellers. He'll start with an I formation behind him, with Bo Klassens and Rickern behind. 2 receivers, 1 to the top, 1 to the bottom. And Rickern is going to get the carry. He's going to bury his way down across the 35-yard line, a 9-yard pickup on first down for the Gladiators.
Garrett Russell still out there giving it 100%, blocking 6, 7 yards, 8 yards down the field. So that's great to see that offensive line still tearing it up.
Well, we'll get an opportunity to do so. We're going to check into this text-in line. We got Dave Clark tuning in. Brennan Ludka at 105 pounds says, go number 1. And we got a couple people saying video and sound are back on track. Thanks, Adam S., for keeping us abreast of the status of our audio and video here. We appreciate that in the chat as we're chugging along now almost through this third quarter as there's a nice handoff going down the sideline for the Gladiators. This is Lane Voss, and Voss is pushed out at the 25-yard line.
So that's about a 50-yard run. 45-yard run.
45-yard run for Voss, and he came in off the bench, got the ball, and did his thing there, Scott, didn't he?
Well, you know, that's the thing. At any point in any game, you could be called upon. So, you know, you might think, well, I'm not on the starting lineup, but that just doesn't matter because you got to be ready to go when your number is called, and he was. So, nice play, Mr. Voss.
Here's a single back formation now for the Gladiators.
Mr. March in the backfield.
Yeah.
Getting a little direction. You go there.
Sellers under center, hands off to him.
Oh, yes.
And a nice open run by Anderson March. He picks up the first down,
And
working along the right side of the Gladiator offensive line. And the offensive linemen don't get enough credit because they're still working hard out there right now as we've got a stoppage of play on the field.
I don't want to take anything away from Anderson March at 5'9", 148 pounds. But, yeah, that offensive line opened that up, and that just made it possible for Anderson to just bolt through that. Fantastic. Fantastic to see. So we are definitely, at this point, seeing a lot of our younger players, and they're getting some time. And this, for many of them, is their first game, so a chance for them to get some of the jitters out and, you know, get used to being on the field, which is huge for games as we go down the stretch. As people wear out, as injuries happen, hopefully, you know, Hail Mary, hopefully there won't be a whole lot. But, you know, this is great opportunity to just get these younger players out there comfortable in game time situation.
So the Gladiators come back out onto the field. Let's reset the clock here. There's 2 minutes, 28 seconds left to go in this third quarter.
So Bo Klassens and Mason Hoschler. Before the season's up, I'll get that right.
And there's a handoff, and Hoschler's going to keep it. He's tucking and diving near the first down marker. He'll be about 2 yards short of the line to gain, which was the 3-yard line. So it'll be second and about 3.
And then our kicker for Benzie, Lane Sanchez, coming in there to help with making that touchdown. Or, man, I've said that about 6 times with that tackle. Well done. Here comes, we're rotating in more and more players.
Want to give an update from around northern Michigan right now. Also live on Next Level Broadcasting.net. East Jordan and Kalkaska. That's a 16-12 game right now with 5 to go in the fourth quarter. But here the Gladiators are on the goal line. They're going to hand this one off, and plunging his way in for the score for the Gladiators is Michael Frederick.
Well, now, how about that? Mr. Frederick is a defensive player, and then there he is in there running the ball, scoring. So that's awesome when you get the opportunity to bring in. It takes me back to the Chicago Bears when they used to bring in Refrigerator Perry to run the ball.
And for Michael Frederick, he was on the postgame show 2 weeks ago, and a great young man. Great to meet him. Maybe, just maybe, if any of the coaching staff right now is listening, maybe we can get Michael on after the broadcast tonight during our postgame show, because I'm sure he'd like to talk about that touchdown that he just got there as somebody who doesn't carry the ball that often.
Mr. Wildfong once again. High
Good snap, good hold. This one straight down the pipe for Sam Wildfong. And the Gladiators answer back, making it the score 49-14. And, well, as we talk about this game right now in totality, Scott, it's now back up to a 35-point margin for the Gladiators. Right now, St. Francis, you just want to get out of here without any injuries, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can't. I don't think you can play to not get injured.
Right.
You're going to play maybe rotating in your younger players to get them some experience on the field. Ideally, you're playing. You're hoping that nobody gets injured, and so rotating in those other players, giving them some time on the field, giving your starters a break, if you will. I mean, they probably would love to be out there. So, yeah. Well, I was wondering if we were going to see anyone else kick other than Mr. Wildfong, but it doesn't appear that that's the case. He's definitely earned that position. He's fantastic at what he does.
I think so far on the night for Sam Wildfong, every single kick has been a touchback.
All but like 2.
Yeah.
I called Sam Smith over here last time, I think it was. It landed, I mean, like on the 1 yard line, and he was able to bring it back to the 20, so he was quite fortunate in that case.
Wildfong sends this one away. It's fielded at the 10-yard line by Gillison, and Gillison's tripped up and gets out to about the 29. So a nice kickoff return there by Gillison and the Huskies.
Right, I think as the temperature drops, that makes that ball a little bit harder to get all the way into the end zone.
And that does re-engage the running clock here as the Gladiators are back up by 35 points.
What do we have, about a minute and something, a minute 12 left in this quarter? Single back. Once again, that same formation we've been seeing.
Yep, pistol with Smith in motion in orbit. He's going to get the orbit motion pitch, and he's met right away for a tackle for loss. Gladiators right there to sniff that one out. It was Anderson March.
Yeah, and here's what I love about what Anderson did on that play, okay? He's pulling to the left and coming around the outside. Anderson's job is to turn that inside. So he made that tackle with his head on the right side of the bow. He was on the outside, and so if he misses, that play comes back inside. So a nice heads-up play, Anderson, making that tackle on the right side of where you should be. Well done.
Once again, pistol set for the Huskies. They're going to pitch this one to Smith, now coming our side.
Oh, blocking the back. Call that.
Excuse me, is the Husky on the handoff there as they gain some of that yardage back that they lost on first down. It'll make it second and more manageable, but not until we come back with the fourth quarter of play. So we're going to go ahead, step aside. 3 quarters in the books between the Gladiators and the Huskies. You're watching Gladiator football here on Next Level Broadcasting. We'll be back with the final 12 minutes after this.
Hi, it's Kevin Klein from TVC Airport. We're proud to help keep you connected to high school sports in Northern Michigan, so you can stay in the game all season long with TVC, your Northern Michigan connection.
Discover Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union in Traverse City. We make banking secure and convenient with biometric logins and remote deposit capture. Whether you need loans, mortgages, or credit cards, we've got you covered. Manage your finances effortlessly with our online banking services. Grow your savings with our competitive rates and savings products. Experience the difference with Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union. Visit tcfedcu.org for more.
Welcome to Culver Meadows, Traverse City's premier family-owned senior living community specializing in dementia care. Here at Culver Meadows, we cultivate the perfect environment.
And here we are, welcome in. It's officially now the fourth quarter as we begin ready for a play between Traverse City St. Francis and Benzie Central. And here's the third down handoff, and the Huskies look like they're going to gain about 2 yards on that play, so 4th and short coming up. It's Lane Sanchez who was toting the rock there for the Huskies. Brought down there by, let's see, looking for the number of some of these fifth quarter players for the Gladiators, so we apologize if we don't have the numbers right on hand. Zicker in the pistol. He's going to hand off. Is Pritchett. Pritchett bounces it out left. He's got the first down. Pritchett turns on the Jets. He's into Gladiator territory before he's eventually brought down. We've got a couple Gladiators injured on the sidelines here, right by the Benzie Central bench. And one Gladiator is still down, as the team doctor, Dr. Brian Kerr, is going to jog all the way across the field to attend to the injured Gladiator here right on the Benzie sideline. As they come and attend to the downed Gladiator, we are going to keep it right here and continue to thanks some more of our sponsors tonight. And it looks like Adam David was the Gladiator who was down, and he's getting some help and is walking it off as I speak. As Adam David jogs off under his own power. Good to see him able to get back to the Gladiator sideline. And we've got a timeout taken here by the Huskies. And as they take a timeout, we're going to keep it right here and tell you about Alpers Excavating. Listen, Alpers Excavating is a proud 4-generation St. Francis community family that is always proud to support St. Francis Gladiator football here on Next Level Broadcasting. A family-owned and operated outfit and proudly featuring service for residential, commercial, municipal land development. That is Alpers Excavating here on Next Level Broadcasting. So, as we've got a timeout here, we're anxiously awaiting this next snap. And it will be our ready for play signal. Clock will start. And here we go. Gillison in orbit motion. They're going to pitch it to him. He gets a block from Finn Smith. Gillison still on his feet in a foot race. And he's brought down at the 24-yard line. It'll move the chains for the Huskies.
Pickup of 20 yards and enough for a Benzie Central first down. Your 50-50 raffle winner tonight was Jill Smith.
And here's, it looked like a fumbled snap initially there, but Zickert was able to get back on top of that one and make the most of it. Second down now for the Huskies. And here we are now. Huskies still on the move with this possession. Gillison in motion, and it's going to be a keeper by Zickert. He is going to stay inbounds and is brought down by a swarm of Gladiators after roughly 5 yards on that second down carry. Here we are back again. Third and about 4 yards now for the Huskies. Zickert with Butchert right next to him. He's going to throw this one on the slant. Got it completed out into the flats, and it's Dalton Mobley on the receiving end of that Zickert pass, which will keep the chains moving for the Huskies.
And the nice thing about that touchdown or that tackle, we had March in there and a host of others. So there was about 4 of them. So you want to see that. You want to see everybody running to the ball till you hear the until you hear the whistle blow. They've thrown me for a loop if you're the parent of number 11. Probably a jersey rip or something like that, so that number is not on the roster at this time. Around to the right side. This could be open. And it is a Benzie touchdown. About an 8-yard run.
Dane Gillison punches it in for the Huskies, and they go back on the scoreboard. It's now 20-49 after that Gillison touchdown run. So the Huskies showing a little fight here in this second half, Scott.
Absolutely. Taking it, playing until that clock rings 0. So that's great to see that, they're still going after it. Sanchez for the kick. Took a smidge, gave the Gladiators a chance to get in there, get a hand up, and knock that one down. So no good on that PAT.
So while we have an opportunity to do so, we want to thank all of our sponsors here tonight for making this game possible. So you can watch from the comfort of wherever you find comfort with Carter Farm Bureau, 3 West Commercial Real Estate, Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union, Team Elmers, Pop Excavating, the Traverse City Cherry Capital Airport, Justin Liptak with Edward Jones Investments, Culver Meadows, Alpers Excavating, and Redmond Automotive, also Grand Traverse Hauling and BC Pizza. And then last but not least, can't forget about That's a Pizza. That's a Pizza. Making this game possible for you to be watching from, well, wherever.
Yeah. Yeah, whether you're watching on YouTube or on nextlevelbroadcasting.net, maybe you're on your TV, maybe you're on your phone, we're glad you're here with us. This has been an amazing opportunity for me to be part of this. When he asked me if I wanted to be involved, I'm like, yeah, I've always wanted to be part of broadcasting. So, yeah, this is a lot of fun. And we wouldn't really make any sense for us to do this if you weren't listening. So thanks for piping in and letting us know you're listening. Brian Gerberding sending me notes saying he's paying attention, he's listening. Thank you, sir. Dominic Quintanilla, always want to make sure I get that right. Go Glads. Good luck to all the freshmen, sophomores from Lucas Quintanilla. Thank you.
Sanchez is going to kick this one off. It's fielded by Sellers at his 25-yard line. Cooper Sellers cuts it back. He's got a lane still, and he's got a convoy in front of him. Sellers gets a block. Can he take it all the way? Turns on the Jets down inside the 10.
Oh, my. Nice 65-yard run. Watching him work his way through that defense.
Take a look at this. Just a nice cut back there, Scott.
Yeah, look at the hand up like he's on ice, trying to make that cut back and forth. And beautiful run, beautiful effort by the entire kick return team. Nice stuff.
So Cooper Sellers re-energizes this Gladiator offensive attack, as we've still got over 7 minutes left to go in this final quarter here. We got a timeout taken by the Huskies. So Scott, that Cooper Sellers kickoff return run, this is going to allow us to plug That's a Pizza. That was a great play.
Now that, I tell you, that was a great play.
That was a great play there by Cooper Sellers as he stretched that kickoff return all the way out. Ball's marked at the 6-yard line right now. So
first and goal.
From where he fielded that at the 25 all the way to the 6.
Beautiful.
Beautiful return there. And that return officially goes down in the books as a 78-yard return.
I tell you what, one of the great things that rears itself in a situation like this, when, like I told you, I was planning for cold weather, and instead it turned out to be quite warm. And so that's where your conditioning comes into play for sure. And we're seeing that, I think, play definitely in being able to rotate in some of these younger players. It's definitely playing in St. Francis's favor.
I got to take 5 yards off of that. It's 70-yard return.
Okay, I wasn't going to argue with you
for
online.
Cooper Sellers. I appreciate that. I'll argue with myself. I do that all the time. I'm an expert. So 70-yard return for Cooper Sellers. He's now under center. He's going to turn and hand this one off to Bo Classens. Classens driving his legs, brought down by the tail of his jersey at near the 1 yard line. So Bo Classens and the Gladiators looking to get this lead back to where it was at 35 points.
Hey, I don't mean to call you out again, but you said that's Cooper Sellers under center.
Yeah,
that's 15. And so 15's not even on our roster.
Okay.
So we are truly rotating in some players. Probably brought up some JV players. Someone text me and tell me who 15 is.
Or if someone wants to text us the whole JV roster.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Look at him go. That's awesome.
Sharp eyes by Scott.
Oh, I got these binoculars.
And there's a handoff to Tyler Thompson.
Mr. Thompson in for a touchdown.
And Double T is into the end zone for 6.
Double T for the TD.
I like that.
We sound like rappers.
Far from it.
Yeah. I got my son Dominic home listening. I'm sure he's like, yeah, nope, Dad.
Yeah, he just eye rolled as Tyler Thompson just rolled into the end zone for the Gladiators, making it 55-20. And you see the special teams unit come back out. Cam Sellers to snap it.
Oh,
and a new field goal kicker
here we go
as well.
8.
This is Adam David.
Adam David. Everybody gets a kick.
Good snap, good hold. Adam David puts it up and puts it
that.
through. So the
Well,
Gladiators showcasing the special teams depth chart
We
here.
got some depth on this team.
And good to see David coming back because he was
Yeah,
injured earlier. And
God
he's
is
back
good.
out there after he evidently was able to shake off that injury he had earlier on the Benzie Central sideline.
Look at this one. Brian Gerberding says, I need to get paid. Nice.
Well, I appreciate that, Brian. We'll
Yeah.
see if we can work something out. We got some text-in lines that we want to catch up on. 34 freshman Mikey Bauman, or I believe Bauman.
Could be B-O-W.
Yep.
Okay.
B-A-U-M-A-N.
Oh,
Bauman.
Bowman.
And then 66 is Augie Shekshi, S-C-H-E-X-Y. So Shexy, my guess. But my guess might be the wrong guess. So if you know, shoot us that phonetic pronunciation.
There you go. We'll take the help. Bowman would be our dean of students. What is he doing these days? I used to work at St. Francis. It's been a while. But one of the kids of a whole line of them that will be coming through. Yeah, I got my cell phone in my hand, so set me straight with some of these pieces of information as we go forward. That kickoff fielded and dropped and picked back up at about the 5. Nice tackle. All of St. Francis getting there. And then helping them up afterward. I love it. Number 52. So that's Oliver Jaworski, or Jaworski. I'm going to go with Jaworski. Good Polish-sounding name.
So we have the running clock back in order as the Huskies come out of the huddle. Michael Frederick still in there at nose tackle there, Scott. How about that?
Well, you got to keep some of your vets in there.
Here's a toss out to Smith, and Finn Smith is wrapped up in the backfield. Kudos to number 11,
Yeah,
the mystery man.
That's another one of our mystery men. Who knows what number 11 is? Let us know on the chat line, please. And great play. Yeah, I was thinking maybe the PA announcer would say who it was, but they don't know either. Way to go, number 11. We'll figure it out, and we'll say your name next week. So running clock, 5 minutes just ticked off the clock, and so Glad set up with Benzie deep in their own territory. Motion around the right side. Kept by the QB, ran right up the center, right up the gut. Number 11 in on that one as well.
Zucker gets the ball back to the original line of scrimmage before he's taken down by the Gladiators number 72.
So the house announcer also calls out number 72. Another number that we don't have on our roster. Yeah, somebody texted me okay, here we go, Charles. We got Shex Naildre.
Okay.
Shex Naildre. Hopefully emphasis.
Here's a blitz coming off the weak side. Zicker gets it away, and it's intended for Finn Smith. Let's see if we get pass interference. It was good coverage by Lance Voss.
He was all over him.
Hey, the ref didn't see it.
Well, you know, you're not. No, this is just joking now. But you're not cheating on it if you don't get caught. No, it was tight coverage, and that's a judgment call by the umpire out there, the ref. But number 7, Reef Wickern gets an amazing opportunity to lay out the quarterback with his back to him, and so nice pursuit there as well.
Sanchez ready to send this one away. He'll put his foot down. It's a high kick, short kick, bounces and takes Gladiator bounce. Checks up at the Husky 39-yard line where the Gladiators will take over with 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Here's a stat for you. Coming into tonight's game, the Gladiators, can you guess what their record is versus Benzie Central varsity football?
Well, my wife went to St. Francis back in the 80s, and I know back then it was more a very intense rivalry, right? So if we're going, I'm going to give them kudos or credit for some wins. So let's say, how many total games?
They've played 44 or 43.
43. So I'm going to say Gladiators 34, and the Huskies the rest. 19.
We'll get to that answer after this play here.
It's all a guess. 2-back formation. I formation, that is.
Yep. Here's a handoff to Adam David. Adam David keeps the legs turning inside the 35-yard line. Give him about 5 yards on that carry.
Takes a heck of a wallop from Hollis Bell. He came in and rang his a little bit. That was a nice hit.
So to answer that question, coming into tonight's game, the Gladiators' record versus Benzie Central in varsity football, 43-0.
Nuh-uh. Really? In all time?
Yep.
That is amazing, because it's definitely when there have been some basketball games where it's a rivalry. But okay.
So if they win tonight, it'll be 44-0 all time. As there's a little bit of miscommunication in the backfield, but the Gladiators do make it happen to Brennan Ludka.
When I'm golfing, I call that a good miss.
Hey.
Right? Like you don't do exactly what you were hoping to do. Oh, and by the way, thank you, Dominique, for that pronunciation. I appreciate that, sir.
Want to remind everyone, coming up here on the Team Elmers and Culver Meadows post-game show, we'll have some player interviews, so stick around on the stream. It should be a fun one. And we will recap tonight's game and then look forward to next week's game versus the Grayling Vikings. That game will be Saturday, September 20th.
This team right here just played them last week. So
and Grayling got the better side of the Huskies as there's a handoff
to mystery player 11. We'll call him Bob until we know better. Yeah, Grayling definitely got the best of Benzie last week. Benzie had 4 fumbles, some errors. However, I think what that means is that moving from this game to that next one, the challenge meter and level should potentially be moving up a little bit.
Yep. Grayling, Kingsley, Boyne City, the next 3 on the docket for the Gladiators.
Jack Young out wide left as a receiver.
They're going to hand this one off. Adam David plunges forward, eventually met by a slew of Huskies, and that'll be the last play of the game as the Gladiators take this one 56-20 over the Benzie Central Huskies. Don't go anywhere, folks. We've got a lot coming up on the Team Elmers and Culver Meadows postgame show here, including player interviews. That's one of the fan favorite segments that we do every single week here on Gladiator Football on Next Level Broadcasting. So you don't want to miss any of that postseason coverage, or postgame coverage. And we'll have a couple of players joining us here. We'll mic them up, get a chance to talk to them a little bit, see what their reactions were from this game and what they have in terms of an outlook toward the rest of the season.
Yeah, interesting watching Lazinski come through that line holding his arm up, but I don't think there's anything behind it because of the way he's clapping his hands. He must be fine. Okay, good. Yeah, so congrats, Glads.
So we're going to go ahead and step aside here. When we come back, we'll have some player interviews here on Next Level Broadcasting.
Hi, it's Kevin Klein from TVC Airport. We're proud to help keep you connected to high school sports in Northern Michigan, so you can stay in the game all season long with TVC, your Northern Michigan connection.
Do you like the outdoors? Do you like action, being part of a team, and big machines? At Team Elmers, we're not just building roads and infrastructure, we're building dreams and communities. And as a 100% employee-owned company, we value every employee owner with a commitment to excellence and a culture where everything we do it with heart. Every day brings new opportunities for adventure. Apply now at teamelmers.com/careers and to be part of something extraordinary.
Welcome to Culver Meadows, Traverse City's premier family-owned senior living community specializing in dementia care. Here at Culver Meadows, we cultivate the perfect environment for your loved ones by combining our setting, scenery, and social interaction of our residents. We pride ourselves at being an extension of your own family here at Culver Meadows. Call 231-633-9430.
And 1. All right. We are officially live here on the Team Elmers and Culver Meadows postgame show, joined by the victorious Gladiators. But first of all, we're going to welcome in senior Sam Wildfong. Sam, great to have you here on the postgame show. How are you doing?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I can't complain. Thanks for taking some time here out of your evening.
Of course.
So, Sam, talk to us a little bit about the preparation coming off a really big win versus Ogama Heights last week. How do you kind of reset yourself to get ready to play here against the Huskies after an emotional victory last week?
Yeah, it's just sticking to our game plan the whole week and just getting ready to go, regardless of the opponent we're playing. We got jobs to do, and that's the thing that all the coaches are preaching to us the whole week. Focus on your job, focus on what you're doing. Don't focus on the road ahead of you. We got one game this week. Our goal is to get 1-0 this week, and that's what we did. So.
Sure. So talk to us a little bit about the play of your offensive line tonight. Those guys were mauling in the trenches. What did you see from them?
Yeah, we were doing really good. We were getting good jumps off the ball. I thought overall our blocking schemes are good. We were communicating really well, and I thought we got to keep doing that down the road. We were really disciplined up front, which is completely different from the last 2 weeks. So we just got to keep rolling with that, and we're doing great, yeah.
So outside of that, Sam, do you have any shout-outs that you want to give to any family members, people that are tuning in that might be watching right now that might want a shout-out from you? Anybody want to show some love to?
Yeah, I'll give both my grandmas, Grandma Sandy and Grandma Jean, and then my Grandpa Butch. And, yeah, that's about it. And then, of course, long snapper holder Ethan and this week Cooper. They're doing great jobs, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Sam, we're going to say thank you for tuning in. We're going to pass the mic along here. Let's give it to Adam David, and we'll bring Adam in and see how he's doing.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Sam.
All right, as we bring in Adam, it was great to see you get involved in the running game. Tell us about how exciting that was to get into that.
I'm really thankful for the coaches for trusting me to get into the running game. I play a lot more on defense, but, everyone likes to get the ball. I always want to score. That's the most fun part.
Right, absolutely. That is one of the best parts. And so, Adam, I have you as a sophomore.
Yeah.
And, running back DB, I had you more as a DB RB, right? Like you said, mostly defense.
Yeah.
So amazing as a sophomore to get a chance to get on the field, get a feel for live snaps in a game time plays and that sort of thing. So tell me how cool it was to have you and your fellow underclassmen in the game.
It's the best feeling to play with your buddies, your boys. We've been playing together since we're like third grade on the playground. Then we get to be out here and actually.
Definitely tell me about your favorite running play.
I really like blocking for Tyler, I think it was Tyler Thompson. I think I got a pretty good block for him. Allowed him to get, I think, a first down. So when I can set my boys up for success, that's a great thing.
Yeah, for sure. That's something that I've been, as a lineman myself, I've been pointing out up here in the booth is it's that downfield blocking. It's continuing the block for until we hear the whistle. A lot of that we're seeing on the play, on the field, and great job by you and by your entire team. And just congratulations on this win. And here's to moving forward to the future.
Let's go ahead and bring in another teammate here. Adam, glad you're feeling great, and we're glad to see you're able to walk that off here on the sideline after taking a tough hit. Let's go ahead and bring in our big man here,
Gage.
As we bring in Gage Walter, as we just want to say thank you, Sam and Adam. Gage, this game, I think a lot of people wouldn't look at it and say that it was won in the trenches, but I know being in the trenches a lot, you can say, hey, we enabled these backs. Obviously, you and the rest of your trench players, offensive linemen, take a lot of pride in making sure that you're setting people up. And let me ask you this. Left side of the line versus the right side of the line. Who's in the coach's ear saying, hey, coach, run behind us? Is there a little banter back and forth, left side or right side?
There's a little bit, but not too much. We all just want to block for our guys and let them get in the end zone. really, you know, and we know what our job is, do our assignment, and play the best of our ability every single play, and just try to get our backs to where they need to go and get them in the end zone eventually.
So you found the end zone. Your backs did a lot tonight. There was 2 passing touchdowns from outside of 15 yards, but other than that, you know, the longest touchdown on the night was a touchdown run by Ethan Daziak for 65 yards. Talk about how it feels great when you just start chugging along, jogging, and you see that, you know, running back just sprinting into the end zone.
I mean, it's an amazing feeling because you just get to watch them go and then go celebrate with them. You know, no better feeling than that because, you know, you did your job, you did everything you needed to do, and then you just get to see them go down there and score and put up numbers, which is great.
Yeah, for sure.
Gage, I played defensive line. I see you going both ways. That's impressive. What would you say? How would you say, you know, remember all those times during August when coach is running you and you're thinking, this coach, come on, coach, do we really need to run this much? Obviously, you're a senior and you know you do. Tell me how your conditioning came into play here. Fourth quarter, I saw you manhandling the offensive guard across from you, tackle.
Yeah, I mean, the conditioning is definitely something that we implement and focus on during August and before all the games, and it helps and pays off so much. Like, it sucks when we actually have to do it, but once you get to game time, it pays off because, you know, you aren't as gassed as the other guys are, and you feel good.
Yeah, kind of like actually studying before a test, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You guys were well prepared for this test, and like I said, I grabbed my Knox and I'm looking through my binoculars, and I called your name out quite a few times for the whole defensive line was doing a great job. Those linebackers don't make tackles unless the defensive line is there making space for them, right? And so definitely some great play. Proud of you. Keep up the great work.
You got any shout-outs you want to give tonight? Anybody tuning in that you want to give a shout-out to? Family, friends, loved ones?
I want to shout out my mom for doing all that she does for the team, getting food and getting everything prepped, and just she works her butt off for the team and to make everything happen behind the scenes. So I'd like to shout out for my mom.
Okay.
Yeah, good decision.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Mom.
There's some brownie points there for Gage Walter. Thank you for joining us. Let's bring in our last guest tonight. You're welcome, Gage. Thanks for taking the time out of your evening. Let's bring in him.